Good evening, everybody. Is there anybody taping tonight? Val Stratton. Thank you. If everybody, I'm going to call this meeting to order. Oh, somebody's phone's ringing. Today is Wednesday, July 19th. It is 7:05 p.m. If we can silence our cell phones while we stand up, have a moment of silence, and we'll say the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you. Is there any corrections to the minutes for June 6th or the June 21st meeting? If there's no corrections? No corrections? No? Okay. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes? All in favor? Aye. Unanimous? Okay. Board correspondence, there is actually none. I'll start with my report that I have to give you all, and we'll move on right after that to Jim's. Is that okay, Jim?
Yeah.
Okay.
Unknown caller.
Okay, good evening again. Thank you very much for the opportunity again to serve you all here as your board. We greatly appreciate it. We just want to bring you up to date on some things that have been happening, things that we had been in the works, we had finally got done. Some easy things, we have 2 brand new computers that we had put up in the library, big huge screens. That would be really nice for everybody. The evacuation signs, we have them ordered. They were approximately, to get all the signs, new post, and a couple other signs that we needed, they were approximately $4,000. But these signs say evacuation, they have the correct right, left, straight. They're bigger signs, they're nicer signs, you can see them at night. So we've done that. We also realized when we took over that we had a problem with the unmanned gates, that the golf carts were being stolen through those gates. We contacted with a Lacucci, we had them come out. We have 3 focused street lights at the unmanned gates now, okay? We are getting cameras for those gates. We have signs coming that say surveillance in use, cameras in use. So we have that done. The price for that was a little under $1,700 for the 3 lights, but it was about a I'll say $1,700 just to round it up, 5-year refundable deposit. So it cost us really nothing in the end to start securing those gates. We have to pay, of course, the electricity to run it, but at least we have lights at that gate to kind of deter. We can't stop everybody, but at least we can deter. We have the cameras on order. They're coming, like the Crime Watch police officer had indicated. We got those type that he had indicated. We also got the signs up. So at least it's letting them know, hey, you come on here, people now can see you if they come in through those areas at night. Call the sheriff's department if you see anybody. Mike, thank you. Mike has put in all the brand new TVs that you can see. Yep. So thank you. We had one TV that was broke out of the package, and I believe that's the new TV over here, and that's going to get put up. What else? We have our first town hall meeting, and we'll send out an email for that. That will be on Thursday, August 3rd at 7 p.m. up here in the clubhouse. What else? August 11th. This is something that we haven't really, we've talked about it among ourselves, Arlene, but on August 11th, we're going to have our first employee training for some things that our employees need training on. They've never had any training. So we're going to establish a training system for them. And we're also going to have an employee appreciation lunch up there. And thank you to unit reps for helping out that day so we don't have to close the clubhouse. They're going to come and stay at the pool and help everybody else out. So thank you very much for that. Yes, thank you. We'll feed them. So really, that's about it that we have going on. We have some stuff that's in the works. We have some bids that we're waiting on for some other things that we'll let you know about. But we just want to bring you up to date. Again, we really want to thank you for the opportunity to serve you in the community. It means a lot to us that you put your trust in us. So thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to give you the treasurer's report if I could. I'm going to try to be brief because we've got a lot to cover tonight. From the operations standpoint, we started with $439,000. I'll just do random for the nearest thousand. We now have, the ending balance of the month, in the month of June was $452,000. The interest that we've earned in the operating account, $401 last month, for a total year-to-date of $32.19. That's important. We'll get back to that. We spent for the expenses $97,000 total for total expenses. The reserve account is up, it's down slightly. We had $3,200,000, still have $3,200,000, just down a tiny bit. We have one expense that was actually done in June, and it was a June expense, $2,246. That was part of the air conditioner that we replaced here. The interest that we've earned, $1,475, year-to-date about $6,000. So you take the $3,000 and the $6,000, so far through June we got about $9,000. As a comparator, so far in July, we've got about $4,000 or $5,000. So July's been a pretty good month for us, as well as August, September, and October will be as well. The donated funds account started with $29,800. We had some expenditures. What's left is $28,000 and some change. So that's the highlights. I did get a question, how much do we have in CDs? Where's our money? Blah, blah, blah. You know, those questions. To give you the highlights, we have 24 CDs, 5 of them in the operating account, 19 are in the reserve account. This is as of the beginning of the month. They're in 22 different financial institutions. The total amount in CDs is $2.1 million. We have 7 CDs that are expiring in July, 2 in August, 1 in September, 4 in October. We have some money market funds too. Regions Bank 241, these are all in thousands of dollars. Brennan 109, Edward Jones 91. And so far the interest in July, when I had calculated it, it was a couple days ago, 41.87. So when you heard some of the expenses, we're going to put in $4,000 for signs. Where are we getting the money? Where are you getting the money, Jim? Well, the interest is going to cover a bunch of that. So that'll give you the highlights. But I had another question. Well, what happens if we have to have the money, some horrible catastrophe happens? What happens if we have to have the money and it's in a CD and it's a 9-month CD or 6-month CD? So it's a really good question because most of the CDs that we have, let me just give you an example. We bought it for $50,000 and halfway through the period, let's say you're 3 months through 6 months, it has a value. It's going to be either above or below $50,000. Typically, if the interest rates are going up, it'll be a tiny bit below. If they're going down, it'll be higher. So we can get out of those CDs at any time. It might cost us a little bit of money, but rest assured, if we needed to get our money, we had some catastrophe, we'd be able to get it quickly. So if anyone has any other questions about that, I'd be happy to go over them in more detail. Those are the highlights.
Arlene, did you have anything? Okay.
I'll stand up since I'm vertically challenged, just so you can all see me. So good evening, everyone. Good to see you all here. Just a few things. Oh, can you hear me? Okay, sorry about that. So our front desk coordinator, Cindy, she has retired as of yesterday, July 18th. And Danielle Sassone, she has filled that position. You may have seen Danielle previously at the guard shack. She's one welcoming our owners and visitors. And we wish them both well. We are diligently working to get our new software called QuickBase finished and implemented. We hope to be going live with it by mid-September, and this will be replacing our access system. Just two other things. When you make a payment by check, please include your UBL on the check, and the UBL is your 6-digit account number that you have with Brookridge. If you don't know it, you can certainly call the office, we will give it to you, or check on the back of your pool pass, that's the same number. It really saves our bookkeeper some time if that number is on the check when she is posting your payment. And lastly, please make sure that your information with the admin office is kept current. This includes if somebody leaves your home, if you get a new phone number or an email address, if you get rid of a vehicle, or you have a different mailing address. It really is important that our records are accurate. Thank you.
And Jim has an issue, a housekeeping issue that he wants to talk with everybody about, so I'll let him speak to that.
Real simple, I spend a fair amount of time in the admin building, so much to my wife's dismay, actually, of course. And what I've seen over the last month, we had 2 instances where people came in, they were loud, they were abusive, they were swearing, they were obnoxious, they were all the things that you don't want. And what I'm going to tell people is, starting today or yesterday, we're not going to stand for that, period. It's simply, totally, completely unacceptable if you're coming in there with bad behavior. If you got an attitude and you want to scream at somebody, then come and scream at me, and I'll listen to it. But you're not going to do that to Danielle or Arlene or our folks that work so hard for the community. They deserve some respect. Most people are very respectful. The ones who aren't, I'm going to submit a violation, a C1 violation. I think it's a $100 fine, and I'm going to escort them out of the building. We're just simply not going to tolerate that.
George has something to bring you up to date on that he's been working on.
I got it on my phone here. July 13th, we met with the gentleman that was last Thursday night. His name was Greg. ASE Integration, to figure out what we could do to fix the whole system out at the gate. The inbound gate is one company. We've heard this before. The outbound gate is another company. When they came out, when Greg came out, the guy that did the outbound gate, when he came out to tell us what they wanted to do to replace the outbound gate, what happened was, he came out, he looked the whole situation over, and he made a statement to code enforcement and administration, some of the board of directors, that we do not need to change this system. We spent $25,000 and we really didn't need to spend it. He had other avenues he could have done to fix this system, but they insisted that we spend $25,000, a little over. And guess what? It's still not fixed, but it's going to be fixed. You know, out of that $25,000, we got barcode readers that we have out there. When the cars come in, the cars go out. They were $6,800 a piece. The most expensive ones you could buy. Our outbound gates, the inbound gate, the whole wiring system underground is completely fried. It's not nowhere near code. It's pretty much house wire. It's not even weatherproof wire. So that's got to be fixed. And The gentleman that came out, Greg, and talked to us the other night, he pretty much said to all of us, he was reluctant to fix the system because all he was doing was putting a Band-Aid on it. You're gonna call me back in two months to fix it again. And every time it rains, because of the underground wire, our system goes to pieces. I talked to him again today. It's not running right. So we need to get that fixed. So, you know, we've heard this many, many times. I live in this community, and I wouldn't do anything to hurt this community. Well, why did you spend $25,000 on a system that we did not need? When we came into here, Debbie and I was in the office with the general manager at the time, Carol, and we needed a part called DSX. And that's the barcode system that runs, that deletes people from coming in. If your barcode shut off, if you're being fined, and this has been down since last October, hasn't been running. Everybody ignored it. Well, they convinced us that we need to spend $2,800 on the new DSX. Guess what? The system that they bought has been out of date since 1980s. So, and we had to get into the 20th century. We didn't get into the 20th century, but headed backwards. So like Jim always says, we're going to look forward now. As far as gate entry is concerned, we pay $650 a month. That's $7,800 a year for a system that nobody will call you back on. Arlene has called many times to get them to call her back. They never call her back. So guess what? This check is sitting right in the office. It's not going to be signed until they call us back and let us know what's going on. As far as I'm concerned, I'm just going to say this. When they bought all the systems and everything came forward, like the outbound gate, Greg had way too much authority. He didn't need it, and nobody slowed it down. But we're gonna, this Greg that came out and met with us the other night, very nice man. And, you know, he said, what needs to have done to fix this system is gonna be a wireless communication, if I remember how they said that right. And what it's gonna do is, we don't need DSX. We really didn't need it in the first place. And he wants to come out and he wants to fix this properly. But the biggest thing he said to us was, guess what? We are not, I will not take one check from anybody until every person in here that wants to be trained is trained in Harry's crew or anybody's crew that wants to be trained through the guard shack, code enforcement, the board of directors can, the office. When they say that we can, everything is fine, nobody needs to do anything else, your people are trained well, he will take care of it, and then the final payment will be issued to him. He said he could be in here by the first week in August. It's going to take about a week and a half to fix the system. Is that correct? Okay, I'm getting it right. So, anyways, I said, you know, we could just bear with us. We know it's been a slow process, but it's going to get better now. We're going to look forward and not keep looking back. That's all I got to say.
Mary?
Go ahead.
How much?
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. George, do you have any idea how much it's going to cost us this year?
Yeah.
George, if you can also explain that they opt out of the maintenance agreement. We
Yeah.
opt in.
See, we wouldn't even have to have this problem with some of the stuff at the outbound gate. We would have had nothing would have bothered us. But when they bought the system for $25,000 plus, they opted out of not taking the warranty, $150 a month to maintain this system. And that was just absolutely terrible for us. And to answer that, Mary, it's going to be $8,100, and that includes 4 months of service Then after that, it's gonna be $150 a month. January, and what that's gonna give us, every 2 months, he's gonna come out, he'll vacuum the whole system out, clean the eyes, if something needs to be changed, he'll take care of it. And, very, very honest guy. And
He also said that if there were, he would recalibrate the arms. He's also gonna look at getting and seeing what the price is to match the other side. The outbound to match the inbound arms. They're two different arms. He's gonna look at getting a price for us for that. And he is right here, local in Tampa, and he will be out if we have a problem within 48 hours guaranteed. Without the warranty, it was $7,800 to repair the entire system. And underneath the ground, that wiring was part of the original contract that was supposed to be done. And it's Cat 5 that you run in your house, and it's crushed underneath the ground. We also had, if you want to explain what Jose did for the guardhouse, because that was a huge problem.
we had Jose come in, he's an electrician. He came in and he went through the guardhouse and he troubleshooted in there. He found some issues. Some of the boxes were wrong. We got boxes that, from the original setup, that water's running right into them. And they're not waterproof. So he's gonna take care of all this, and, oh, he put the surge protector in so we could stop having lightning hit it. That's what we're told all the time. Oh, lightning's hitting it. Well, put a surge protector in. Probably would stop it. And that's why we've already bought 2 of the DSXs. We didn't, the last group did, and they were $1,400 a piece. But the one that they wanted us to get was a wireless one, but we didn't need it. Go ahead.
Do we have any recourse to go back to this first company that screwed everything up to see if we can get some reciprocation in funds so that we can possibly help to cover this bill that we're incurring now?
Okay, what I can say about that, Mary, is a great, great question, because we're gonna see, we're gonna let him fix it, and then after he fixes it, then I'll tackle that.
Terrific. Thank you, George.
But the check has
Yeah,
gone
different company.
unsigned.
We had 3 companies. Yep, and hopefully we're not signing a check until Gate Century either comes across or he can take it over. I don't know what's gonna happen there, but we're gonna figure it out. He will figure it out for us. Very nice gentleman. That's all I got to say.
Debbie, from YouTube people, audience, the YouTube people cannot hear you if you do not use a microphone, and they're complaining online, so please.
And if they ask a question or make a comment, can we have their name and their unit number just?
Yeah, this is, I don't have a unit number, it's Sandy Hoos.
Okay, moving on. We're actually going to flip the script a little bit here. We have a bunch of, we have some requests for variances and some appeals. We're going to take those at the end. We're going to get to the meat and the potatoes in case people have to leave. They want to hear what we have to say. That way, we can finish up that part of it. And just to let you know, this is probably the first time you have seen the appeals come to the board. That is in our rules and regulations that if they have an appeal, it must come to the board for a decision. It does not get handled as it has been at the code enforcement office. If they're not happy with what was said at an ACC or something like that, or a fine or things like that, it comes to the board. It does not get handled at that office, and that's in the rules. So if you start seeing that, that's why we're going by what's in the rules. So the next thing that we need to get to is I need to swear in, and I've been waiting patiently to do it, Steve Astori and Debbie McMillan. I know you're both here, don't hide. Debbie, where are you? Okay. Steve, would you mind going up to where Debbie is on the side? And we can do it right over there? Okay.
One is being sworn in, Steve is being sworn into the ACC, and Debbie McMillan's going to the
AVRC.
AVRC.
Yeah, Debbie's going AVRC. You're going ACC. Don't get mixed up and go the wrong place at the wrong time. I know. All right, both of you. Will you raise your right hand? Are you sure it's the right? Okay. Okay. Do you solemnly promise and swear that you will administer the office to which you have been appointed to the best of your ability and judgment, in conformity with the governing documents of Brookridge Community Property Owners, Inc.? That you will, in all your acts, be governed by the principles of honesty, justice, and fair play, and in every manner possible, endeavor to promote and safeguard the best interest of the citizens of Brookridge and the welfare of its membership. Do you swear?
I do.
I do. You may lower your hand. By the virtue of authority conferred upon me, I hereby proclaim you as duly appointed, Steve, ACC, Debbie, AVRC, and officially installed in the office. Congratulations. Thank you for volunteering.
What does AVRC stand for?
Fine.
Violations.
The Violations Committee, so if you go speeding, you'll find out.
Okay, and just to make it official for Steve, we had already done this for you, Debbie, and you weren't here, but I make a motion to appoint Steve Astori to the ACC. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous? Okay, unfinished business. Oh, sorry. I'm really sorry, guys. Unfinished business, we have one thing, and that is our Halloween dance. Our Halloween dance is supposed to be, it was for the 26th of October, but it is actually on the 28th of October. It was an error in our, when they had put it in here. So I just wanted to correct that as unfinished business. So if we go on to new business, motion to approve the change on the Halloween dance from, I'm sorry, what?
Mary Story, Unit 6. This was not for the Halloween dance this year. We already have approval. The men's club was the Halloween dance for next year, 24, Deb, which would be the 26th. That's where the difference is. You guys already approved the one for the 28th of this year. What was missed last month, when you guys, when they asked for their breakfast and everything, I'm pretty sure it was for 2024. Rich, can you confirm that for me?
There's a flyer. Everything's in here.
No, Rich, that's the one for this year.
Oh, that's the one for this year. For next year?
That's already been approved.
Hold on, we just gotta, okay.
Yes, I can confirm that.
Okay.
The one you approved last,
Name and unit number.
Lauren Williams, Unit 6. The one you approved last month was for 2024, for all of the dates for the men's club activities, including the Halloween dance.
Which is the 26th.
This was already approved previously on the 28th.
So it's the 26th of
It
October.
is really the, okay, all right. That was our confusion on that, Lauren. So So we're sorry, but we've got it, so it's straight, right? It was never,
It's gotta be approved for the 26th of October.
okay.
I don't know if
No,
I read
just
it
read.
incorrectly, I apologize, but, all right, so what we're doing, Debbie, Madam President, is approving the Brookridge Men's Club Halloween dance for next year, right, October 26, 2024.
Okay.
So that's what your motion should be, and then all that.
Okay, so I make a motion to approve the
2024.
2024
Halloween dance.
Halloween dance for October 26th.
Correct, yes.
October 26th. So everybody now has to go.
Yeah. We all have to go.
Yes,
We
the
all know date.
2024 October 26th Halloween dance for the men's club. So everybody's going to be there. I'm taking names before you leave. So can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Unanimous. Woo, that was, sorry, we're sorry. We're sorry because we thought, so we all changed it. So it was on us, okay. Right. Okay. Do you want to go ahead, Leo, with the first item? For the board agenda? For the ACC? You have that?
Dated July 19th.
Use your microphone.
Dated July 19th, 2023. Submitted by G. Claire. ACC checklist on ACC application.
Closer, Leo, closer.
Are you hearing me? Now you do. Okay. ACC checklist on ACC application. Update the ACC checklist on ACC application. Motion is to approve the ACC changes as submitted.
I second it. Make a motion to approve it.
Yeah.
I make a motion to approve it.
I second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous.
You got another one?
Okay, submitted July 19 also. ACC guidelines 3.03 lot preparation. Update the ACC guidelines to streamline processing. Changes to 3.03 lot preparation. And there's a schedule available. Motion is to approve the ACC changes as submitted.
I make a motion to approve it. Second.
All in
Motion to
favor?
approve.
All in favor? Unanimous.
I have a few that I have to go through as well. The first one is one that we had, similar to what we did last month. Because of Article 11, Section 1, we have to have approval from the board, a majority approval for specific placement of BCO funds. We have some CDs that are expiring or maturing. We have 4 at, they're CDARs at OZK Bank in July. We have 1 in October. For a total of $300,000 at OZK and $150,000 at Edward Jones. So we also I would also request that we allow the board to move $42,000 that's sitting in Regions Bank in a money market account earning about 3% into a CD that we can get 5%. Got a call from the branch manager there saying they just had these become available. They were not available before, so the question is, why didn't you do it before? It was not an option. It was a money market or nothing. And we needed to put about $250,000 somewhere, and we picked Regions Bank. So that's what we're doing. I'd also like to ask the board to allow us to put either an addendum or a new item on the next ballot when we send out our budget ballots, removing the specific placement so that we can just do it without having a board on every month we'd be making a vote. So the motion is for two, to approve I move that the board approve the reinvestment of the CDARs and CDs, including the one at Regions Bank, as well as placing a new item for the ballot, removing that specific placement phrase for purchasing CDs or other financial institutions that are federally guaranteed. Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. Thank you.
Unanimous.
Next one I have is capital contributions, and rather than read through it, I just want to give you the highlights. It might make it easier. There's been numerous residents have talked in various meetings. Mr. Stratton had also submitted a capital contribution back, I believe, in 21. It was actually September of 21. I'm not sure if the board approved it. I don't have 100% approval on it. But what we're asking for is that we place a request on the ballot to let the members decide. So all the residents would decide, do we want to have a capital contribution fee? And we're suggesting it be 3 times the HOA fees. So do the simple math. So say the HOA fees next year are $50. The fee would be $150. This fee is for people who move into the park, they buy a home, they put it on a lot, somebody sells their home and they buy it. Everyone sitting in this room would generally never pay this fee if you didn't move to another house in the neighborhood. It's for new people only. At $150, we do about, I don't know, maybe 200 of these. It's a significant opportunity for revenue. It doesn't affect any of the current residents, and we're asking to put that on the ballot to let the members decide. It would be a change to the deed restrictions. So can I get a second for this motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And again, remember, this is just to put it onto the ballot to say yes or no. Does anyone have any questions on it? It can be complicated, but it's pretty much a one-time fee. You buy a place, you pay the fee, you move on. You never have to pay it again if you don't move. Did you have a question, Tom? Yes, please. And again, remember, this is the members are voting. If the members don't like it, they vote no, then it's no. Go ahead, sir.
Thomas Lemon, Unit 2. I understand what you want to do, but I really feel that there needs to be further explanation to the membership of how our capital gains will be affecting our finances.
I can tell you that right now. If there's, for example, a $150 fee for a new resident that comes in, and we charge them $150, that $150 goes right to reserve accounts. It's not to be used for operating, and it's money that will be used for gates, fences, whatever, lights.
How will that affect our nonprofit status?
Yeah, well, it should have no effect on our nonprofit status, none whatsoever. It's such a small amount, it would not change it would not be such an enormous amount of income that would come in that would affect our nonprofit.
So how many people are we talking about moving in that's going to market the $150 target?
Let's say that there's 100 people that move in, times $150, it'd be $15,000.
And that's not going to affect our taxes?
No, we'll make 5 times that in interest.
Okay. I really think the community needs to understand more of what capital gains is. And I'm kind of asking that maybe it's something that could be a topic done in a town hall meeting.
That would be, I would welcome that. And again, remember, it's not a capital gain, it's a capital contribution.
Okay, well, I just feel it needs to be further explained to the members.
I'd be happy to, if people would like to put questions down ahead of time, I'd be happy to answer those at the next town hall meeting. Or if someone wants to call me just one-on-one, pick up the phone, I'm in the book. You can reach me anytime, 24/7.
Yeah, again, I think the membership needs to understand more of where your head's at, what your plans are, how it's going to affect us financially, etc.
Okay.
Thank you.
You bet. The next item comes from the Finance Committee. Yes, Linda?
Linda Walls, Unit 4. It's not capital gains, it's capital contributions. If you sell your home, whoever buys it will be paying this fee. It does not affect any of the residents. It's not a fee charged to them. This money can only go into the reserve account because it's a capital contribution. It won't affect our tax statuses. It won't affect the residents. It's anybody that moves in here. It's a win-win. You know, it puts money in our reserve account to help pay for any repairs, improvements. Maybe someday we'd have enough to build a new swimming pool. So that's what capital contributions is for. Put it on the ballot and everybody vote for it.
And just as a clarification, reserve expenses are things just like she mentioned. If we want to put a new pool in, if we need a new air conditioner, when we had this $20,000 air conditioner plus 20,000 plus that we just put in, all that came from reserves. Those are reserve type expense. Paying the lights, paying the wages, that's all operations. Just so that you understand what's what. You had another question, sir?
Thomas Farman, Unit 2. I still feel this is going to eventually affect how you're going to be able to sell your home. It's going to affect the selling price of the home. And you're also talking about estoppel fees increasing those. You're increasing fees just to sell your home, which is going to make it more difficult for people to buy homes in the property.
I would respectfully disagree with that. Certainly it would make it more, as you're buying a home, as you're the buyer, you'd be paying more attention to those fees because they're a little larger. Nobody, when they buys a home, likes to pay fees. I mean, they're paying a estoppel fee now, whether it's $200 or $250, you're still paying something. It's essentially a cost of buying a home. But when you're buying a $250,000 home and your estoppel fee is $300 and your capital contribution fee is $150, it's, for lack of a better term, it's a drop of water in the ocean.
It's still an increasing fee.
I get that. But it's increasing fees that we get a benefit for. The community wins on that, in my humble opinion. Any other questions, or can I move to the next? Rich, go ahead.
Rich Stratton, Unit 3. I'll make it simple. Jim, you know, I was on the board of treasurer.
Yes.
I researched this. Anybody buying a home here right now, you're going to pay about $7,000 to $8,000 closing costs on a house. You realize that? So we're asking for $150 for a new person coming in here to benefit us. Us. Nobody else. This was talked about in 2021, 22, even before that. It's a benefit, so we don't have to touch any of our reserve money. This would be, we lost already $60,000. Just lost it. Blown away. This is money we could use for things like, would be kind of paid for the roof, trees being cut. So this is just a benefit to us in not using our pocket. Thank you.
Please, go ahead. All comments are welcome.
Joanne Burns, Unit 4. I've been here, okay, it's going on 19 years. I don't know what happened in this community, okay, but the clubs used to support Brookridge, okay? We all ran, the clubs supported Brookridge. We used to have entertainment, and they would sell out the entire room. Everybody in Brookridge came and paid tickets. We would sell out dinner shows twice a month. And all the money went to the office, and they supported, the clubs supported Brookridge. I don't know what happened. So therefore, if the air conditioner system broke, that money paid for the air conditioner system. Everything got paid for. The kitchen, that's how we got the dishwasher. Things got done. Everything, the doors, the automatic doors got taken care of. The pool got taken care of. Everything, the maintenance guys had a wish list. Things got done. And we didn't have everything that they argue about. The floors, things got done. I don't understand why we're always arguing about money and things not being able to get taken care of. So I think that maybe, if it's possible, you guys can get in touch with whoever, maybe if there's any presidents left, that you just can talk to and find out how things were ran. Because that's how this place was supported. It was through the different clubs. We had women's club, then men's club came. But every single club worked together. And let me tell you guys, we had entertainment in here 24/7. And every club supported Brookridge. This was a family. When I tell you family, we were family. And this place was alive, and I mean kicking. So I don't know, but we didn't have nothing like we have now. And doors were put in. I get, yes, it is beautiful what we have. But when I tell you, we didn't have financial problems like the clubs. Okay, you say. Okay, you say there's no financial problems. There's not. Okay, there's no financial problems.
Go ahead, Dick.
Dick Terrio, Unit 3. First of all, I am a president of a club, have been for 7 years. Sandy's here, she's involved in Monday night. As far as the clubs giving money to the community, we still do. I'll mention a couple numbers. I gave $2,140 with the committee to the beautification to Gail Metcalf to finish that up. We gave 2 $500 donations to the sign prior to that. I know we've helped Music Airs. Trudy may have to help me here. We've helped the Veterans Club. So there are clubs, including the Men's Club and the Veterans Club, that still do donate. As far as the $150, that's a no-brainer. Whether the clubs give money or not, which we do, believe me, Sandy will verify it. We help the community a lot, our clubs. And we enjoy doing it. We're thankful that we can.
And I just want to say that just this past 4th of July, when we had our get-together up here with the hot dogs and the chips and things like that, the men's club, the ladies club actually just bought, if I'm correct, Mike, was it that they helped you with the washing machine?
Yes.
Yes. So that was almost $500? Okay. So we're asking all the time. The clubs are coming to us too with money. We have some money for some signs that was just donated. We get things all the time, and we put them to directly, if they say we want this donation used for signs, we put it strictly to that. If we want to help you with the hot dogs, we'll buy the hot dogs and the buns. But when you go to Sam's now, prices are astronomical. Everything has gone up. So that dollar that they gave us 6 years ago is not stretching as far. So they might not have those other funds to give us, and we have to come up with somewhere to do that. But we are in no way, shape, or form in any financial hardships here. We are actually extremely solvent. And that, in the interest that we are making, is to one person, and that is Jim Westbrook. And the things that I have asked him for money for certain things, And that is coming from interest on things. So we're not even dipping into accounts because the interest that we're making, such as putting on an employee appreciation and having some catering done. He asked me if I could wait until after a certain date because a CD was going to come. That doesn't even touch the CD. That is just the interest on it. So we're not using that money. We are using some funds from reserves because we have the new signs for traffic safety. We have some other things such as the gate, things like that. But as far as operating goes or anything else, I can tell you right now, Brookridge is 1,000% solvent, and we are actually making some money for the first time in a long time, and our money is actually working for us the way it's supposed to be, and that is thanks to Jim Westbrook.
Question from YouTube for Jim?
Go ahead.
Jerry Kraft, Unit 1, asked this question about the capital contribution. Would this apply to current residents moving to a different home within the community?
Yes, it would. If you're buying a new home, whether it's if you live in this neighborhood and you buy a new home, you would have that fee, just as if an outside person was buying a home in this neighborhood. Okay, I think, go ahead. Yes, ma'am.
Vivian Blair, Unit 4. This is kind of off the subject, but yes, the Sithra Pro and the Men's Club and the Ladies Club, thank you for your donations, but you also have to recognize the people that run the little clubs, like the sewing ladies and our different card clubs and that kind of stuff. You have people that donate their time, so people have something to do. This is why I moved to Brookridge. I love my husband. I said, honey, I can't take you all the time. We gotta find someplace else where we can get some entertainment. And, you know, so also, yes, thank you for all of your donations, for you people that have money, but the little clubs like, you know, like Jingles and Mexican Train and all the card clubs, we're entertainment. Appreciate us too. We appreciate you. Thank you.
Because we're going to run short on time, I'd like to get to the next item. The next one is increases in rules and regulations, Article 7, and it covers, there's several of them, but 3 of them are estoppel fees, going from $200 to $250, expedient estoppel fees $300 to $350, and delinquent estoppel fees $350 to $400. So when you're buying a new home, and you have an estoppel fee, it's going to essentially cost you $50. So we're looking for those 3, along with if you make your payment late, your HOA lot assessment, the late fee is $5. It's been that amount probably for 10 or 20 years. We're asking to raise that to $15. Real simple. You don't want the fee? Don't be late. It couldn't be easier. So that's a fee that everyone can control. Background screening is another one. Background screening fees for buyers and renters, raising that from $100 to $125. And barcodes in excess of 2 households, which is probably a tiny percentage of the people that live here that have more than 2 vehicles, from $20 to $25. So I'd like to make a motion to the Board of Directors that we approve these fees, change the rules and regulations fee schedule, and make them effective 30 days after we are approving this, which would be the 19th of August. Can I get a second?
I second.
All in favor? I approved it unanimously. Does anyone have any questions on these fees? It's pretty straightforward. Prices have gone up. Gasoline's over $3 a gallon. It costs you about $10 for an egg or a loaf of bread. It's insane. So, I mean, prices are just going up. Wages are going up for everybody September, October. So it's just part of the extra expense. Next item is, and I'll just try to paraphrase it. What we're looking for is a ballot item to go to the members to vote for an increased fee of $100 for administration for renters. Our admin staff, now Danielle, Arlene, and Vivian, they spent time on these applications for renters. We're asking for a $100 fee for that effort to put in. So it's essentially getting us some money back for that. So if you come in, you want to be a renter or a new resident, you pay a one-time fee of $100 for that effort. Pretty straightforward. It's a fee for the work we do, is trying to recoup some of that expense. Can I get a second on a nomination to put this onto the ballot and let the members decide if we should do this?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. There's unanimous.
Is this in addition to the background fee?
This is in addition to the background fee. It's a admin fee for renters only. So if you're a renter and you're coming in, there's other tasks that they have to do for that. The next one is probably going to be the most discussed item. It's the RV compound. And before we go cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, because there's two different views on this, and I understand both sides of the perspective. What I'm asking for is that we place something on the ballot to allow the members to say yes or no. Do we want to charge a fee that would be determined by the board of directors each November, December for the next year? So for example, let's say that we thought that the RV compound was going to need, I'll try and do a round number, $2,600 in expenses for that year. There's 260 people. That would mean that would need to have a fee of $10 for the year for the RV compound. Let's say it was $26,000, then they would need $100 for the year. So what I'm asking is that we put a agenda item, or I'm sorry, a ballot item when we do the budget vote, because we're sending a ballot out anyway, so there's no additional charge, to let the members say, yes, there should be a fee, or no, there isn't. I want to give you a little bit of background data. There's 260 plus members there. Through July, only 23 of them have donated money, and Gil has asked those folks to donate between $50 and $100. Some are $20, some are $30, some are $50. They've donated a total of $1,600 over 23 people. And remember, that's from a pool of 260. So what that means is 23 people put their money in, 237 of them didn't give a single penny. Remember, some of those RVs are six figures. They're 50, 60, 70, $100,000. There's a lot of money just sitting in that RV compound. And we're just looking to make it revenue neutral for the park, and we want the RV members to cover their costs. There's a cost of lights, there's a cost of security, which we don't charge for yet. But figure just at 1 hour a day, hold that thought, Gil. Security, putting new gravel down, doing the mowing, keeping the fences up. There's significant expenses there, and they've been donating money. Don't get me wrong, we're just trying to make it fair for everyone. Go ahead, Gil, you wanted to say something.
Yeah.
Gil is in charge of the RV committee. We'd like to give him the opportunity to talk. Just as a reminder, this is just to put it onto the ballot to let the members decide. Go ahead, Gil.
Okay.
Microphone.
I gotta explain how we pay for native unit. You know, like to unit 4. I'm in 3? That's right. I moved. I'm on Central Avenue. How's that? All right. Just a couple things that I gotta bring up to the par here. People think that the RV compound don't pay nothing. Well, we pay. This here is a recap that Eileen gave us for 22. 22, we paid $825 for electricity. We paid $275 for mowing. We paid $427 for cords, cable for the cameras, $650 for fencing and accessories for unit 22. And this here is what they do. They don't actually write a check. I fill out a form and sign it, and what they do, they bring out the donations, they bring it to operations, and then it goes to Public Works. Because we share Public Works. We share the meter and everything else. Now, for 23, our cost is going to be $907.50 for electricity, $302.50 for mowing.
How I got that is because we're getting 10% raise every year automatically. So we do that. Well, to be honest with you, we have in the account right now, we have a projected of $10,890 is going to be left over after those electricity is done. But this is an accumulation over years. It's not happening. We average maybe $3,000 a year. And he's right. He's right. I'm going to be talking to the RV compound people. We need to get our act together, whether this or not. You know, right now, if you go in the compound, I think everything is looking pretty good. We don't have much of any problem. The only problem is, I'd like to see the roads in there done. Last time we had, last year Carol had somebody look at it. It was $30,000 to do that. So we need to step up to it. So the whole idea is, why I'm here is to allow people to understand how this money is taken care of. Another thing I want people to understand, I don't want to hear rumors that Gil is lying up here, because I have facts. We have facts to work with. This lying thing's got to stop. I don't want to hear that rumor again. It happened one fine person that's did it. And that's it. I want to never say no more about it. We need to stop these rumors. You know, this community, we got to live with each other. We got to be a family. We got to treat each other with the best. So we love, all of us love each other. I may not give you a hug about mine. But the whole idea is, this is why I need to speak up about it. I know that they want to add it to the ballot, you know, to see if the membership will want to go along with raising the rent on the compound. One thing that they're going to want registration and insurance. We're going to have to have insurance. Every place in there is not insured. Then you're going to have to be insured for liability, because we can't take the responsibility of renting property without having it insured. High Point has done that, and the only problem is now they're looking at $1 million suit because they don't have proper insurance. So that's something we have to look at. Right now, we don't pay for insurance. We pay for insurance for our own units, but we don't pay Brookridge insurance. They do insure the property, I assume. And in so doing, we're sharing that with them. So overall, I think the compound has been working well with each other. I have 2 people on the waiting list. Imagine that, 2 years ago when we took over, 45 people was on the waiting list. So we got a lot of deadwood, people that weren't paying their dues, weren't doing what they had to do. We kind of moved them out and replaced others. So that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Gil. Just as a reminder, Gil, the fee, assuming the membership agrees that this is a good idea, the fee would be determined in November, December for the next year. So if we assumed that there was going to be, let's say we did the road that you want to do for $30,000. If we knew that there was going to be a $30,000 fee, we would divide that by the 260, and it would be roughly $100 a year.
The other thing is, while we're talking, you want to explain what you're thinking about the donation funds. We got $12,000 in donation. What are we going to do about that?
That $12,000 would be there, and what that would do, let's say we did vote it through, and it's November, and we're looking at it, we got $12,000 sitting there. For 2024, we may not need any fee because we got $12,000 to do it, and we're worried about it in 25. It has to be determined each year based on what balances there available to be used.
How would that show on a treasurer's report?
We don't track it on the treasurer's report, but we could add it if you wanted to, just like we have donated funds on there.
We're going to have money in there.
We'd be happy to add another column if we in fact do that. It would be a simple add.
Okay, thank you.
You bet. Any other questions about the RV compound?
Is Mr. Wrestler here? Is it Wrestler on Morelli that wants to ask a question? Okay, and if you can just give us 1 minute. You have a YouTuber?
Yes.
Okay.
Jerry Kraft, Unit 1, Mr. Westbrook. She says, we've been through this before. We were told this was an amenity and cannot be charged. Please explain what changed.
It is an amenity and it can be charged according to the attorney when we spoke to him last. If we found out that we were wrong and it could not be charged, then we would revert back. I mean, we're not going to break any 720 statutes. Period. It's never going to be acceptable to break a 720 statute.
Hi, my name is Greg Bristol. I live on Morelli. I think I'm in Unit 4. And I have
raise your mic up.
Oh, mic up? Better? If they do pass this RV compound fee, are they going to allow outside RVs to come in here and rent property in there as they do in High Point?
I would never support that.
Okay.
Just so you know. Even if we had openings, I would never support that. Bringing outside people in, I think, is a horrible idea.
Okay, who's going to check the license plates and the registration on these units for expirations or no paperwork in? Who's going to take care of that?
That is Gil. He takes care of the RV. Gil, who was just up here speaking, he is in charge.
Well, I'm on the RV committee.
Right, that's right.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Ken Walls?
Are there any other questions on RV?
Did you want to speak towards the RV? No? No?
I may have missed the paperwork. I don't.
Okay, if you have something to say, and then Thomas Fryman, right after this gentleman, are you still, okay, right after this gentleman, you have it down here for RV.
Sorry, Rich, no pen. Just saying. Yeah, somebody out there took your pen. All right, Bill Riley, Unit 4. I'll try to make it brief.
Can't hear you.
You can't hear me. Oh my goodness, that's a first. That's a first. Okay, I'll do my best. Couple things. I haven't been here that long, but I do know that the RV compound has been an amenity. It has been discussed so many times. It's mind-boggling, and I'm amazed. Sorry, Jim, that it came up again. What? Know ye this? It's a trap. It's a trap, it's a trap. The liability, I know, the liability associated with charging somebody to park their unit there is huge. And at some point, two things are going to happen. I can see into the future. Whatever you think the fee is going to be today, it will change tomorrow. Kind of like the, sorry again, no I'm not, the estoppel, I can call it estoppel fee. Whatever it is, increases. It doesn't affect you. Oh wait, that makes it a money grab. Moving on, your lot, RV compound lot will increase at some point. Again, the liability, but you're gonna want, if there's money to be had, let other people come in. They're gonna say, wait a minute, you want $100? Here, I got $100. I'm telling you. No? Okay. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. Okay, good. That's the best thing ever. Finally, I don't want to scold anybody, but the people that use the RV compound and don't contribute their share, there's a reason why we are here. You are it. You are it. If you're not contributing your share, you're the reason why we're looking at charging fees, because you're getting something for nothing. I don't like something for nothing. So, I'm out.
And this is going on the ballot. This is not set in stone. This is going on the ballot for a vote. It is up to you to decide yay or nay. If it's nay, then it's no. If it's yay, then we'll proceed. But it's not up to us, it's up to you. if you want it. If not, then vote no. That was the fairest thing to do.
Thomas Ryan, Unit 2. Again, this is a amenity that has brought people into the community. It has been a benefit to the community. People buy it.
Speak up. Speak up.
Hello. Thomas Ryan, Unit 2. It has been an amenity which is what brought a lot of residents into this community. You will be taking away some of the property value, probably one's decision probably to move in or out. And if we do not have a money problem and we're so solvent, why are we digging into pockets? Why are we constantly increasing fee if we do not have a money problem?
Because I'll answer that in 3 ways. One, we're increasing the fees because everything's going up. Wages are going up. There's no stopping it in Florida. Every year the wages are going up $1 an hour times the 40 people that we have working here. That's a significant amount. I would guess our wages are what, Mary, 40, 50, 60% of our budget. It's an enormous amount. The second part is I don't believe for a second that it would lower our property values or have any effect on the property values. Probably just the opposite. It would raise our property values. It is an amenity. Amenities don't mean that amenities are free. It's an amenity. If there's a fee or cost to it, then there's a fee or cost to it. As far as the dollar amount the gentleman who spoke before, he said the fees are going to go up. Not necessarily. If we have expenses that we...
It's like HOA.
If we have expenses that we expect are $30,000 or $26,000 divided by 260, then it's $100. That's your fee. The math drives what that is. Just like when we do the ballot, there's going to be a ballot proposal in November, and it's going to say we want the HO fees to be X, and the reason that it's X is because we expect to spend $1.7 million, and to get to $1.7 million, we need those HOA fees to be $40, $50, $60, whatever the math is. The math drives it. It's not somebody's whim. That's why we spend 6 weeks with a finance committee coming up with a budget that's accurate and it makes sense. And people are welcome to go through line by line. We have 7 very qualified, very intelligent individuals on the finance committee. Come to one of our meetings and we'll walk you through what we came through with the numbers. And if you think there's something wrong, we'd love to hear it because we spent a lot of time saying we're going to spend $1.7 million, we need $1.7 million, the HOA fee is $48 like they did last year. Yes, Mary. I know that doesn't satisfy you, Bill, but that's the best answer I have for you.
Mary Shura, Unit 6. First off, I want to say that what Jim said, in the word amenity, there is no word free. Listed in our amenities, if you were on our website, used to say social dances, Thursday night shows. They're not free. The RV compound is limited to 240 or 250 vehicles. It's not like the pool. If there's 36 people and 2 get out, anybody from this development can go in. There's 240 people that have limited use. It is limited. They have, exclusive use of that development. You pull out your RV, I couldn't pull mine in because it's assigned to somebody else. In the meantime, every resident in this development, out of their HOAs, are paying the taxes and the liability insurance, I'm sure part of the lighting, code enforcement to check it, open the gates and everything else. All we are asking is let it be put on the ballot. Let the residents decide yes or no. We could stand here all night and dispute. You're in favor, you're against. Let's leave it to the 2,830 people in this development to say what we should do. Thank you.
And for the person who made the comment, you shouldn't get something for nothing. There were on the donation list that Gil gave me, there were 13 people that donated $100. If we went to this process where, let's say that we figured we needed $50 or $20 for the year for 2024, then the person who paid $100 would be actually paying $80 less and all the people who paid nothing would be paying $20, $30, $40. So evenly distributed, thank you. I also don't like the idea, you shouldn't get something for nothing, it's just fundamentally wrong, however you want to slice it. So, there you go. That's all I have, thank you. I'd like to make a motion that we add this to the ballot that goes out in October, November for the community to vote on. Can I get a second?
I second.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye. Unanimous. Thank you.
Thank you.
For tonight, July 19th, submitted by G. Claire. The topic, ACC checklist on ACC application. Analysis, update the ACC checklist on ACC application. Basically, add to ACC checklist all structures. Add barriers must be installed using the trenching method. Motion to approve the ACC changes as submitted.
We already. Thank you, Leo.
Everybody knows that. Hello. We reached out on the drainage problem that we have in back of the gazebo out back. Yeah, the pavilion out back. We know it's an issue. People's houses are really getting a lot of water down in there because there's not proper drainage. So Dick Terrio and myself, Dick Moore, reached out and we got some bids. Our first bid was Robert Radatis, and his bid was $13,990. But there's no warranty, there's no insurance, so that kind of throws this one out. Our next bid was, the next bid was Peck Landscaping, and their bid came in at $41,000. But it gets better. We got one more bid. We had the 3 bids that we needed. Davis Integration. They designed golf course drainage problems. They'll guarantee their work for 20 to 25 years. And theirs came in at $14,189 to fix the drainage problem out here. I guess I'm going to make a motion to, and they give a 20 to 25 year warranty on their work. And I'm going to make a motion to accept Davis Integrations Drainage and Landscaping. Yeah, do we have a discussion? Anybody? 27 years. Do we have any discussion?
My only question is, they are bonded and insured? Are they bonded and insured?
Yes.
Thank you.
Davis Integration is bonded. Davis Integration is bonded for $1 million. The one for $41,000, he was bonded and insured, and the one for $13,990 was not. So, yeah. This has been an ongoing issue for how long? Probably 15 years.
15 or more years.
Yeah, and it's been a mess. I believe Brookridge back a few years ago there was a lawsuit because of this, because water was running into a lady's house, and they put a berm up there, but they didn't put it long enough, and it kept running right down into her house. So this is the reason why we need to get this fixed. And we had trees removed out there to be able to do the job. They grinded the stumps down. So we're pretty much ready to go. I'm going to make a motion to approve. Well, come on.
I have a question. Sonia Snyder, Unit 4.
Holler.
This is Sonia Snyder.
We can't hear you. Put it on.
Mike shut it off.
Sonia Snyder, Unit 4. I have a question. Who owns the golf course?
That's not what you're talking about.
Who owns the golf course?
We do. Go ahead, Dick. Golfers. The golfers own the golf course. The golfers own the golf course.
Then shouldn't they be responsible for their land?
It's not their land. It's our property.
But they own it.
They don't own it.
We own it.
They don't own beyond they own from where the driving range and all up there. Everything else belongs to BCPO. Any other questions? I'll make a motion to approve Davis Integrations and Drainage and Landscaping to proceed with the drainage that we have.
I second.
Oh, sorry.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. All of us.
Let's get this done, finally.
I can just tell you, we've had, this was an ongoing issue. It was a serious issue. I think Mr. Stratton can vouch for that. And this, we call him out all the time, but everybody knows where Rich Stratton lives. And it takes that whole area behind that property where he is right there. It had been fixed before, but it had been Band-Aided and Band-Aided. It is now going to be completely ripped out and done correctly. And that was our point of whatever we do here, we're not going to Band-Aid anything. We're going to do it correctly. Even if it costs us more money, we'd rather fix it right the first time than Band-Aid something, Band-Aid something. So that's why we want to do this. Thank you. We'll get to that now. Okay, we're going to get to the appeals right now. Yeah.
We got an appeal from 46 Dinsmore. He wants to have a variance to put a solid fence up there. In the ACC rules and regulations, you cannot have a solid fence. It has to have a 3/4 inch draft. He had a fence up there that he had put up, and it didn't have the 3/4 inch gaps, so they made him take it down. I'm gonna make a motion not to give, is it worth this, yeah, anybody wanna discuss it?
He's not here. We know that. He's not here. Yes, he's not here. Sorry, everybody. He is not here. Gary Byron, 7446 Dinsmore Street.
He used to be on the ACC committee. He should know better.
He's currently not here, so we have went by his appeal that he has put in here. And since he's not here, we'll proceed with what we have and what the rule is. So, yes, ma'am.
Okay, on his appeal, which of course was denied, one of his reasons was, and it states here, the only reason I installed the fence was to block the spotlights at night from my neighbors. That's why he wanted to put up a different type of privacy fence because his neighbor's lights were coming into his yard. My neighbor across, right behind me, they got lights going on, so what, I'm gonna install a 15-foot light fence? So anyways, but besides that, on page 26 in our book, effective the date, the style of fences shown on Exhibit E, pages 1 and 2, are permitted as are similar styles of fences. All shall have a minimum space of 3/4 inch between the slats. You know, we read these appeals and denials and everything else, and the thing is, we all have to follow the rules and regulations. We all move into homes, whether they're new or whether they're resales, and you like to do this and you like to do that. But there's rules that we have to follow. And if everybody started, well, wait a minute, I want to move this a half a yard, or you know what our places would look like? That's why we have rules and regulations. And believe me, there's times that, you bend a little bit, but just because you want to put up a different type of fence because your neighbor's lights are shining into your yard, no. No, and I think we're probably one of the fairest boards here, and we look over, we read them and we read them and we read them. Sometimes they're a little cockamamie, but that's besides the point. We're fair. We're fair to everybody. Nobody's saying that, you can't do something, but follow the rules, because that's why you go before the ACC committee. That's what your ACC committee is all about. You present your plans and everything, and if they don't think that it's going according to the book, they're going to let you know. They'll even print out the page. So you know what? We might sound like the bad guys sometime, but we have to do what we have to do.
And just as a clarification, these are not spotlights, they're bullet lights that are on the stairs of the house next to them.
Yes.
So it's not a true spotlight that's 8, 10, 20 feet off the ground shining into his house. It's off the stairs.
So he can put shades up, right?
He can put shades up, he could put bushes. He can put some bushes along that fence row where he has the fence. That would solve this problem as well.
Okay, I'm going to make a motion to deny the variance.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye. Second one. We have another one that's 8272 Country Club. Hold on just a second. Dennis Valentine. What he wants, huh? Is he here tonight? Yep. Okay. 8272. Country Club. What he wants to do is put another driveway in and actually come off the corner of his house and put a full driveway in. But he's already got a driveway with a 2-bay garage that is there. And ACC explained what he could do, but he wants to make it a full driveway. But on the rules and regulations, we're not eligible to, they're not able to be doing that. So, do we have any discussion?
Could you elaborate on the rules a little bit?
Hello? 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 Yeah, my name is Dennis Valentine. I live on the 18th tee. I have a lot and a half. I have 170 feet of road frontage. Years ago, I had a carport. I put a garage over that carport. And then I saved all that material, and since I have so much frontage, I put a carport further down. And I put the slab in years ago. It had to be 12 inches deep, and I followed all that. And it's a 2-car carport. Now, I was up north, sick for years with different things, and became a kind of a snowbird when I was early here. Now I'm back full time. and I'm tired of driving on the grass to go to my carport. So all I'm asking is the same width of the carport right to the street. What they're telling me is I have to drive in on like a one-car lane into two cars. Fortunately, my wife and I both drive, we have two cars. So that's all I'm asking, a variance of, I believe it's 2 feet, 3 inches on each side. And they tell me that's illegal.
But you, can I ask you a question, sir? You do have the opportunity or the option to put a 15-foot frontage driveway and essentially have it look like a beer glass where it's 15 feet and it kind of firms up to 19. Can you tell me why that wouldn't work for you? I don't understand because
Well, you know what? It's
when
a
you drive an 8-foot car,
thing.
if you drive a car that's 8 foot wide into a 15-foot space, I don't understand why that wouldn't work.
Well, it would work. It would work if I just left it and drove it on the grass. I'm grandfathered in, but I don't want to do that. I want a nice